Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Brandon Bynes from chitchatcheckin.com here with another extremely exciting and amazing Tutorial Tuesday. I've got one really quick announcement before I get into the tutorial. Me, Eli, and Trexton are entering 2 video contests this week, and they're for the Amazon Wireless video contest and the Hayward Pools contest. And the first one, the Amazon Wireless one, we've actually already finished the video for, and it's up on our YouTube channel for you guys to view and critique and all that kinds of stuff. And so please do us a quick favor and go watch it, like it, and comment if you so choose. But what we really want you to do is actually go to where the contest is. It's on Zupa or something like that, and go vote for us, because I don't know, votes help, I think, in some way or another. I don't know, but in any case, we want votes on there just to show that we've got an awesome video, because we worked really hard on it, and in my opinion, it really is awesome, and it deserves to win. Not to mention, we kind of want to win because we get like $5,000. Anyway, so go watch that, go vote for it. The Hayward Pools one should be up tomorrow, hopefully, sometime Wednesday night. I don't really know for sure. But just keep an eye out for it. You'll see that one here pretty soon in the next few days. And so yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into this tutorial. So today what we're going over is this fancy, swirly, really cool looking 3D text effect. And this is something that I came across quite a while ago, actually, but it wasn't until recently that I actually figured out like how to do it myself and make it look good. But I figured it out, and now I can teach you guys how to do it too. So hey, let's go ahead and cut the chit chat and let's get right into this tutorial. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off by making our new document. I'm going to go with 1920 by 1080 for my resolution because, I don't know, maybe sometime I want to make this into my desktop background or something like that. And then go ahead and keep your background contents as transparent. Well, actually it doesn't even matter, but I'll just choose transparent for now anyway. And we'll go ahead and hit OK. And then on this new document, let's go ahead and change the first layer here to BG for background. And then let's bring up our fill dialog by hitting Shift Backspace. And actually you can also hit Shift F5 if I remember right. And make sure you use 50% gray and with a normal mode and 100% opacity, and hit OK. And then we'll fill it in with that 50% gray for you. And then go to your text tool with the letter T. Make sure the color up here is set to a kind of light-ish gray. It's 929292, pretty easy to remember. Hit OK. And then for the text, I'm using a font called, what is that, Agenfa-Bold. I can't read from here. My screen's a little too far, and I don't even know. But I don't think that's an original font, so you might have to look it up on the internet or something like that. I'll try and look it up for you, but anyway, let's just move on. The font size that I'm using for this is 400 points. You can do whatever the heck you want. And so before you actually get started with this effect, you're going to have to decide what word it is that you want to create. So in my case, I made the word check, because we're Check It, you know, Check It Productions. But Check It would take forever to freaking do, so check just had to do for now. Alright, so this is what I'm going to go ahead and use as check. Go ahead and use like your name, or like, I don't know, the name of your pet if you so choose. I don't know what you guys like nowadays, so go ahead and click somewhere and type out the first letter in capitals if you prefer. And so this is the kind of general letter that you're looking for. It's kind of bold, it's kind of crisp around the edges and such like that, but you can use like a rounded one if you so choose. It's completely up to you. Alright, so let's go ahead and move this somewhere in the top, slightly off to the left area up here. So that's looking pretty good. Oh, a quick little tip for you guys. This is something that I found out that is actually really useful. When you're on tools like the text tool, if you hold the control key or the command key, it temporarily switches back to your move tool. So you could be typing something, and then you want to move something, then you hold the control key and you can move it around. Pretty handy. Alright, so I'm talking a little too much, so let's just keep going. So with your letter C selected, go ahead and go to 3D, Repoussé text layer. And if all of this stuff is grayed out, the reason is probably because your graphics card doesn't support the OpenGL that the 3D Repoussé requires. So I don't really know specifically what the requirements are for that, but It's something worth looking up. Alright, so when you select that, it's going to ask you if you want to rasterize your text. Well, it says that it must be rasterized. Anyway, just hit yes when that comes up. And then we're going to get our represent menu in just a little bit here. Alright, here we go. Alright, and so with this 3D menu, you're probably going to look at it and just be like, ah, crap, I don't know what to do with this thing. Or maybe some of you do, I don't know. In any case, what we're doing is pretty simple. Just follow what I'm doing step by step. Go to the depth, go a little drop down arrow, and change the depth all the way to 10. And so I'll just show you what that looks like off to the side here. That's just pretty much making it way longer, alright? And then what you do is you take the scale and you put it down to 0. And then that'll take it and put it down to a point on the end of the letter C. And then you go to the twist and change that to something like 560. And that will make it twist, like so. But as you can see, it looks a little lumpy. That's funny. Anyway, so go to the mesh quality over here, and you see how it says draft? Well, that's the reason why the little spinny twist dealio kind of looks a little lumpy. So click on that and change it to best, and that will eventually smooth it out. There we go. Recording in 1080p is going to make this a little glitchy, but we'll do what we can. So on your screen, it's probably going to still look like this. All right. So if you want to change the angle, just make sure that you have this this tool selected, and then just kind of click and drag off to the side, and you can kind of see what's going on. Alright, so in my opinion, just having it spin back like that isn't interesting enough. So let's go ahead and make this look a little better. So next to the bend, you'll see all these little like dots and such. That is the anchor point of the bend. So basically, if you were to choose a different anchor point, so let's just go to the center right one, give that a click. That will change the anchor point off to the side like so. So instead of everything spinning around here, it spins around over here. And if you were to change it to like the upper right hand corner, like so, it would go up there. So wee, up and to the right. So you can go ahead and choose whatever anchor point you like, but I'll just start off with that center right one, because I think that looks pretty good. And then you can click and drag it to make it look like it's kind of spinning around right about there. There we go. No, a little more up. This thing's kind of hard to control when your computer starts to lag. Alright, so now that we got this kind of spinning down like so, we can go ahead and move on to the next part. So go ahead and hit OK. Alright, and so the next step we're going to do is go ahead and go to our 3D menu over here. I said that kind of funny. Alright, and so if you don't have this little 3D menu over here, just go to Window 3D right there, and that will go ahead and bring that up for you. And then we're going to go ahead and change the lighting of the letter C. So go over here to this little light bulb and give that a click. And you'll see that we've got 3 infinite lights. And we're just going to go ahead and manipulate these a bit to light this up a little bit better. So select your first infinite light and go to the intensity, go to the little drop down thing, and just kind of amp that up a little bit to maybe 1.19 or 1.29 just to brighten it up. And then we'll go to our second light and then click on the color and then just change that to maybe like a light blue. You can choose whatever color you want, but I'm going to go for like a bluish color, and we'll hit OK. And then we'll go to the third light, and then you'll see that we have a light type right next to it, and it's set to infinite. Go ahead and change that to point. And so after a second, it should change that to a point light up here. And then what we'll do is go to the intensity and amp that up a little bit, like so. And then change the color to maybe a slightly darker blue like that. So that's A5C4E1, if I can read that right. Hit OK. And then let's go ahead and change this light's position a little bit. So with that infinite light 3 still selected, go down here to the 3D light pan tool, and then go up to your letter C, and then click and drag, and pay attention to the lighting, and then just kind of put it to just an area that you think looks good. And actually right around there is looking pretty good for me. So we've got this nice blue highlight. I can't even talk today, what's going on? And so that just kind of makes it look more contrasted and a little more interesting, and I don't know, it just looks better to me. And so just a quick note, the reason that I chose blue for this color is because in the end, that's going to be one of the colors that kind of shows up after you apply more coloring and such. So if I go back And if you look closely, you'll actually see that there's a little bit of blue and a little bit of green here and there. So that's kind of where that blue is going to start showing up, is after you start adding in like more color adjustments and such, alright? So just keep that in mind when you're choosing your colors. And well, actually we're pretty much done with that lighting, so we'll move on to the next step. So go to your layer C, the layer for your letter C I should say. I'll go ahead and close up that little list of effects going on and such. And let's go ahead and duplicate this by hitting Control J or Command J if you're on a Mac. And then with that copy selected, go back to your 3D menu and select this first little icon right here. And it'll show up all your materials and all that. And go to the extrusion material. So this says C extrusion material because the layer was called C originally. And so with that selected, go down here to where you see this little sphere and click the drop down icon and then scroll down and then click on this little checkerboard looking thing. And then after a second, you'll see that it applies that checkerboard to your spiral. And so let's go ahead and close that up. And so we want to go ahead and change this up a little bit to kind of fit a little bit differently. So we'll go over here to where it says diffuse and has a big red box. Go ahead and click the icon next to it and go to edit properties. And then what you'll do with this is actually completely up to you. But something that I like to do with this little checkerboard is go to the U scale, go to the drop down, and just tone it down just a little bit. Maybe that was probably a little too much. And that just kind of makes the checkerboard a little bit bigger. Like, it makes the checkerboard design itself a little thicker, I guess you could say. And then we'll go to the V scale and tone that down just a little bit as well. And so that's actually looking pretty good to me, so I'll go ahead and hit OK. And then once that's done, we want to make this look a little more interesting, so we'll go to the opacity of our extrusion material and change that to 50% and hit enter. And so now you'll see that you can kind of see the checkerboard effect, but then you also see the checkerboard effect on the other side of the 3D layer, which you normally wouldn't see, but since we set it to 50%, now you can see through it and kind of see more stuff going on. So now that we've got that going on, we'll go ahead and change the blend mode of C copy to overlay. And then if you want to, you can put down the opacity just a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it up at 100%. And actually, that completes the first part of this tutorial. Learn how to make it look all swirly and give it that checkerboard effect. So you can basically use this general idea with the rest of your letters. So I'll just go ahead and do one more letter just to demonstrate. So let's grab our text tool. I'm going to go ahead and hide this menu for a bit. So let's type in the letter H at 400 point fonts. Let's go ahead and put it maybe right around there. Let's go to 3D, Repoussé, text. Yes, let's rasterize it. Alright, let's change the depth all the way up to 10. Put the scale down to 0. Put the twist to 560. And then we'll change the mesh quality to best. And then we'll move our menu over here so we can see what's going on. Alright, so in this particular case, you'll see that this has a lot of swirls going on. So if you want to, you can go ahead and tone this down to like, I don't know, maybe 460 just to see if that looks a little better to you. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to close out of the entire menu. Let's go back. Right click and edit in Repoussé. Come on, come back. There you go. Okay. So that toned down the amount of twist a little bit just so it's not like overwhelming or anything like that. And something that you may want to think about is whether or not you want all of your twists to go counterclockwise like that, or sorry, just clockwise. So if you want to change it to spin the other way, just put a negative sign in front of the twist. So instead of 460, we'll go negative 460. And that will twist it the other way. And also, let's go ahead and change up the bend anchor point again. So let's try top right. Come on, you can do it. There you go. Huh, that's actually pretty interesting. I like that. And also, another quick tip. If you look down here at the X angle and the Y angle, that actually also manipulates that the end of the tail there. So let's get a frontal view of this real fast. And so if I were to change this X angle and move it all the way to the left, you'll see that the end of this moves left. See? And then if I were to put the Y angle up, like so, you see that the tail goes up. So you can go ahead and manipulate the X angle and the Y angle to get a more interesting effect. Especially if you have like a particular kind of look that you want to go for. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and call that good, hit OK. And then for those of you that want to go a little more in depth with the actual like positioning and such of the 3D letters, you're going to have to familiarize yourself with these different 3D object tools over here. So you've got the rotate tool, the roll tool, the pan tool, the slide tool, and the scale tool. So mess with those as you so choose and see if you can get an effect that you like. Personally, I like using the roll tool to kind of tilt these a little bit, and then you can use the slide tool to make them seem a little closer and such like that. And let's actually go ahead and put that a little more back like that. Looking pretty good. And then we can use the pan tool to move it a little more off to the side like so. Alright, so that's in a spot that I like, but it's kind of going over the C, which is something that I don't really want. So I'll take the letter H and put it below our C layers, but now the entire letter H is below the C. So what you can do to kind of cheat the effect a little bit is to add a layer mask to it. So with the letter H selected, go ahead and add a layer mask. And then we'll go ahead and turn off the C copy, and then turn down the opacity on the C itself, like so. And then go back to the layer mask for the letter H, and then I guess I'll just grab my polygonal lasso tool by hitting the letter L. And then we'll just make a selection around the H, like that. There we go. And now with that selected, we'll just fill in that area with black by hitting Alt backspace. Whoops. Why did I put this layer mask on letter H? It's supposed to be on the letter C. Man, I'm dumb. Alright, so let's try this again. There we go. Now, the layer mask goes on the letter C because we want to hide that section of the letter C to make it look like the H is in front of it and hooking around, like so. But if you turn on the C copy, you'll see that it still kind of overlaps. So we'll just go back to the layer mask of the letter C, hold the Alt key, or the Option key if you're on a Mac, click and drag that up to the letter C, to the C copy, to kind of duplicate that mask and hide it behind the H as well. Alright, so now I'll go ahead and go back to the letter H and fix up the lighting. So let's go ahead and intensify this light a little bit. Looking good. Alright, so let's go to this. Let's change it to a light blue. Looking good. And then we'll change this sucker back to a point light. Let's intensify that just a little bit. And change this to a dark blue. And not looking too bad, but let's go ahead and change the position of this. Ooh. I kind of like that right there. That looks really cool. Yeah, I'm liking that. Alright, so that's looking pretty sweet. Now let's go ahead and duplicate this letter H. And let's close these up right here. And then go back to our materials. And then when it comes to the letter H, instead of changing it to a checkerboard, go one to the left to this like marble looking one. Give that a click. And you can do whatever textures and such that you want, but in my opinion, the checkerboard and the little marble looking thing work pretty well together. Let's go back and take a look. You can kind of see in the H and the letter C that you got a slightly different texture kind of going on, and it's just to mix things up. If they were all checkerboard, then it would be, I don't know, it would be kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? Repetitive. All right, so I just went ahead and changed that to a marble, and let's edit these properties and just put down the U scale just a little bit. Maybe not so much. Or maybe scale it up a little bit, see what happens. Okay, it looks pretty good. I actually like that. So we'll hit OK. Call that good. And then you guys go ahead and finish doing whatever letter it is that you want to do. And I'll go ahead and finish doing the word check.
wasting all my precious time set in neutral on an uphill climb. Procrastination has left me dry with nothing even to lose. Tossing empty cartons in every visible basket, 'cause I still can't choose. Time is my greatest enemy, having my midlife crisis of infinity. 'Cause I can't wait too long for this to end. There's more to life I've yet to comprehend. 'Cause I can't wait too long. I'm wasting all my time. 'Cause I can't wait too long. I need to get away from here. I've been lucky to even last a year. If life's a puzzle, consider mine a labyrinth, no end in sight. Sharp turns and dead ends, so many deceptive signs. I need more than a shock to feel alive. Time is my greatest enemy, having my midlife crisis of infinity. 'Cause I can't wait too long for this to end. There's more to life I've yet to comprehend. 'Cause I can't wait too long. I'm wasting all my time. 'Cause I can't wait too long.
Alright, so after a while of working on this, I've finally got something that I actually like a lot. In my opinion, I actually kind of like this a little better than what I did before in terms of how everything comes together. I mean, it doesn't have the coloring and all that yet, but it actually still looks like really, really nice. It's not bad at all. But anyway, so let's go ahead and move on to the actual coloring of all this. So the first thing we're actually going to color is the fronts of every single letter. So let's go ahead and start off with the letter C. So we'll go to the C copy, and let's go ahead and make a new layer above that. We'll just call this C. And then we'll control click or command click if you're on a Mac the thumbnail for the letter C, and that will load it up as a selection over here. And then we'll go ahead and fill in this layer with, I guess we'll just fill in with whites with control backspace, because white is our background color at the moment. And then we'll deselect that with control D or command D if you're on a Mac. And then put the fill of this layer all the way down to 0. And then we're going to go to the effects and give it a gradient overlay. And so let's go ahead and change up this gradient, and we'll change the black to, let's see, it was AE001F, and it's this kind of dark red, maroonish kind of a color, and we'll hit OK. And then we'll go to the white slider, and then we'll change that to EA125D, and then that's kind of like a I don't know, what kind of color would that be? Like a more of a magenta, pinkish, red color? I don't even know. It's a combination of all that. So we'll hit OK again, and then we'll change the blend mode of this to vivid light. And then that's a little too intense, so we'll go ahead and tone this down quite a bit. We'll just put it, let's just put it right around here for the time being. So what is that, around 58% or so? So somewhere around there, go ahead and keep it. And then we'll hit OK. And now we'll go on to the letter H. So let's find our letter H down here. And let's make a new layer, call it H. And we'll control click the letter H and fill it in with whites. And we'll just basically, well, let's put that back down to 0. Then we can hold the Alt key or the Option key on a mech and click and drag, whoops, cancel, and click and drag that effects icon to the letter H, and then that actually looks pretty good, but sometimes the shading looks a little bit differently, so if it does, just go into the gradient overlay for it and just kind of change it accordingly if you so choose, and then just go ahead and do that for the E, C, and K. Alright, so that's all just about done. Let's go ahead and tone that guy down just a little bit. Alright, so now that that's done, we can go ahead and start colorizing, well, basically everything else in the document. So to do that is actually a lot of experimenting on your end. Like, if you want to get a different color other than what I've got going on, you're going to have to experiment with that yourself. So just go to your adjustments layer, or not your adjustments layer, panel, and then what you would do is add a gradient map, and then you would add something like, I don't know, what would be a good start? Maybe that like maroonish color, or maybe like a dark green, like maroonish blue, I don't even know. And then let's go and choose some other random color, maybe more of a purple. I don't even know. Anyway, what you would end up doing is you would start messing with these different colors, and then when you got a color scheme that you like, you would just set that to, I don't know, just change up the blend mode. So like maybe overlay. Wow, that actually looks kind of cool. I like that a lot. That's what colors did I even use for that? That's really interesting. So that was like a dark cyan kind of a color, and then a purplish. Huh, not bad looking. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and grab the gradients that I actually used in the other one, because I really don't remember what I used. So they're down here. So let's go ahead and click and drag them to our document and on back down, like so. And just in case you guys are wondering, I'll go ahead and show you what the colors I used are. So this first gradient map right here is set to color dodge at 67% opacity. And the colors I used are this, so this is like a dark, like a light darkish blue. I don't even know. That doesn't even make sense. But the number for that is 055975, and then the red on the right side of that is E02020. And then if we go back and go to our second gradient map, which is set to soft light at 100% opacity. This actually starts off with a greenish color at 188E3F, and so cancel all that, and then it goes to a dark blue with 00203C, so let's cancel out of that. So those are those colors that I decided to use, but let's go ahead and actually add a little more to this by giving it a little levels adjustment. So hit that back arrow right there, go to the levels adjustment, and then we'll just kind of darken this up. So let's put that to right around there. It's looking pretty good. Okay, so just to add a few more touches to this, let's go ahead and so actually right below the levels adjustment layer, let's go ahead and add a new layer, and we're going to call this Vin for vignette, because I love my vignettes. If you've watched my other tutorials, you know by now that my vignettes are like my babies. Figuratively speaking, of course. Alright, and so with black as your foreground color and a really large brush, so let's just go ahead and start painting in around the edge. Okay, that was a little too harsh. Let's try this again. So let's do that and that. Alright, now let's just go ahead and see how that looks. Let's set this to soft light and then duplicate it and then set that duplicate to overlay. Alright, that's actually looking really good for a vignette. Not bad at all. Alright, so actually let's add one more touch to this. Let's add a little bit of a texture. So let's go above the levels adjustment, so select the levels, and then let's grab this texture right here, which is a texture from Video Copilot. I don't even know what this is. It's like crystals or something. I don't know. You can find it on Google. I'll probably put a link in the description for you guys. So once you have it, just go ahead and click and drag it into your document, and we'll set this guy to overlay. And then let's go ahead and put a mask on it, and let's actually get rid of most of this. Let's use black on our brush to get rid of all the other areas, and just have it to where it's just kind of barely coming off of all these 3D letters and such like that. Or whatever your personal preference is. It's completely up to you, your project, your preferences, all that kind of stuff. And so I'll just go ahead and call that good for the time being. I'm not going to put a whole bunch of time in just masking it. And unfortunately, the colors on the CHECK are getting a little too intense. So what we'll have to do, let's go ahead and close those adjustments. So let's go to our letter C, and then go to our gradient overlay. And then we'll go ahead and just tone down that gradient a little bit until we start seeing that texture a little bit better. So actually right around there is looking pretty good. So we'll hit OK. Let's start copying this to all the other ones. So that's looking alright. Let's change that and that and that. I guess it could be a little more intense. So let's go ahead and fix that. So just a little more on that. Much better. Let's just do this the easy way. Right click, copy the layer style, select all these, right click, and paste the layer style. There we go. Much better. Much better. Okay, so actually there's one thing that we can probably add to this that would make it look a lot better. So right above the vignette, let's add a new layer and put it into a group by hitting Control G, and we'll just change this the name of this to Spotlights, like so. Then we'll go to that layer 2, go back to our brush, change our foreground color to a white, like so. And then let's just size this down to a good size, maybe around, I guess 80 pixels or so would do. Let's just start it off, let's just put a spotlight right here on the letter H. And then we'll set the blend mode of that to overlay. Alright, and then we'll just go to our move tool so we can start moving this guy around if we need to. And then duplicate that. And bring up the transform tool with Control T, and we'll size it down from the edges while holding Alt and Shift, or Option and Shift if you're on a Mac. And that actually looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and select both of these layers like so, and hold the Alt key, and then just click and drag these to spots that look like they could use a little bit of a brightness adjustment to it. So let's size that down, make it a little more narrow. Maybe add another duplicate right there, just so it has that nice white center like so. Then we'll select those two layers again from that. Let's just put this. We'll put this guy right here. And where else can we put this? Maybe the end of the E looks pretty good. Then maybe the K, maybe size it down a little bit. Alright, so anyway, that's the kind of general idea for that. You can do whatever you want with that. Let's kind of change this up. So add those spotlights in just however you want, and that way you can, I don't know, just adds a little bit to the general feel of the entire effect. Just kind of makes it look a little better, makes it pop out a little bit. And so actually we'll just go ahead and delete that layer entirely. So anyway, that's just the general idea behind all this kind of stuff. So go ahead and add in all these spotlights, wherever the heck you want. And if you guys like this tutorial, please let us know, because I like this effect a lot, and I'm pretty sure you guys do too, so just let us know how you like this effect. And let me know if I actually explained it well enough for you guys, because I don't know, I've never really taught anything like this before. It's kind of a new experience for me, so please do us a favor, like the video, comment, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do that. Hey, get back there. There we go. And so let's just go ahead and take one last look at this bad boy. And so F, zoom in, looking really good. Alright. So thanks again for watching, guys. This effect turned out really good if you ask me. And I really hope you guys learned something new. So please do us a favor, stick around, subscribe, let us know what you think, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday.